good afternoon, good evening, guys, and welcome to another video of Diving Trading. My name is Daniel, and today, guys, we're looking at NIO, doing an update on NIO. A few months ago, those of you who follow my channel know that I am a NIO shareholder. NIO is and has been and will be probably one of my most favorite conviction stocks that I have. Most recently, there's been a really good time. We've really had really good times and taken advantage of the price drops that we've had, the red days most recently, and I think it has been a great time to have averaged in. I did say in the Discord group that the price target that I had last week was a good support level around about $32, and it sort of banged right on $32, which is where I bought in, averaged down, so absolutely really happy with that. Today's price, or should we say on Friday, price actually finished off at $45.50, so slightly down on the day, and nevertheless still very good. And at the moment we're looking at after hours, so it's a Saturday, so 45.36. So yeah, there's not a lot of movement there. But let's have a look at prices, and people ask me about prices, and let's have a look. Let's see what we think of where the price is going to go. So we actually have a look at the graph. We did have that back in February. Drops, we've had drops in all of the market, not just the EV market. Quite big drops until around about the 5th of March, so last Friday that was, and we had a double bounce. So this was the Friday, and again this was the Monday, so Monday last week, 8th of March. So this is a double bottom, which normally suggests a reversal signal. So we had the reversal signal, so perfect. And then we went up and we tested these levels. Okay, so here we got to the bottom of about 32, and then we went up to these levels. We broke these resistance levels 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so the 45. So now what we're looking at is an upward trend, and we're looking to break the resistance level of 48.87. So we've smashed through these ones. The last one sort of broke through quite softly, so we'll have to see if we have a rebound, but looks like we could be going towards the 48.87. Now if we do break this 48.87 or 48.80, we could be looking at quite easily a $50 very soon in the near future. $50. Now by the end of the year, people say, what's your view on this stock? What's your short-term price target? I don't, to be honest with you, I don't really care, to be honest with you, in the sense that I'm not looking at price targets for a short term. I don't use this stock to swing. This is a stock that I have for the long term, at least 1 or 2 years minimum. And well, anyway, in terms of short term, if the market goes like it is now at the moment, and we're starting to have an increase, and things move forward, I can see quite easily, and really quite easily, $80 at the end of the year. Now people say, where are you going with $80? That's no way. That's well overpriced. Well, have a look at Tesla. Have a look at Tesla. You'll see that Tesla is also overpriced, yet prices are going back up even further again. So I don't think we can take a literal valuation on the market today of what something is worth, but I can see this is going to be a trend like it has with Tesla, and it's going to be a strong trend for this year. It's a long-term hold. This is just to sit on it and let your money grow for the next 1 or 2 years. So that's a bit about price. That's my prediction, and that's my thoughts on NIO's price. So let's have a look at some news, guys. Some news we've got just fresh in. This is in today, so today's the 13th of March. So one bank made big bets on Apple, Tesla, NIO and other EV stocks. So the Central Bank of Norway drastically increased investments in the make of iPhones and in shares of makers of electrical vehicles as the 2020 wound down. In the fourth quarter, Norges Bank, which administers the world's largest sovereign wealth fund, bought shares of Apple, Tesla, NIO, Nikola, Lioto, Xpeng and Fisker. Okay, the latter four investments represent new holdings for the company, for the bank rather. So this is quite interesting. So yeah, okay, NIO, we have investors, big institutional investors and bankers buying into these stocks. This suggests it's a good thing for the future, right? Also, we have to keep an eye out. We have to keep an eye out. We're really the top two leaders probably at the moment. Well, obviously Tesla is the number one EV company in the world. NIO will catch up. They have a long way to catch up, but they are producing. We know the numbers that they've been producing, the revenue, and it's going to be even more exciting now because they're expected to come to Europe quicker than what they initially set out to. So this is going to be very interesting. We have to see what these other cars do. Now, these are the ones I don't have any investments in the other ones. Having said that, we really have to keep an eye. Okay, so the EV market is going to get very competitive indeed. So we really have to see how this pans out. So we always have to make sure that we keep our backs covered. But I think Tesla and NIO are, for me, hands down, two investments that are just too good, really. So that's a little bit about that. And then if we go in to have a look, we also had an analyst, Vijay Ragesh, which is from Mizzou. He's a Mizzou analyst, a Wall Street analyst, and he's given his opinion. He said that his price target for Tesla is actually 12% above the current levels, while NIO targets are just a 30%, 32% rise. So if we go in and have a look on tip ranks, okay, we can see that he has a 70% success rate, and he rates it as a buy. He rates it as a buy. Well, who's not going to rate it as a buy, to be honest? I can't imagine anyone actually rating this as a sell, to be honest with you. But anyway, so yeah, we have out of the 1,031, just to give you an idea, 1,031 ratings, we have 72% is buy rating, a 27% hold rating, and 0.5 sell ratings. I don't know who those 0.5 sell ratings are, but anyway, generally this is a long-term hold and it's a buy. Now, when I'm looking at stocks, I always like to sort of have a split personality. I like to put myself with my bullish cap on, and I like to put myself with a bearish cap on. I'm always open. You need to be open all the time. You need to be open and not open-minded. And I always like to see the negatives, because a lot of time when we have these conviction stocks, we're so convinced that we love this stock, and we tend to sort of repel, like Teflon. We still repel the bad news or some things that could be negative, which sometimes could be valid and could be true, but we decide not to accept it. So in this article, this is a very bearish article by Josh Enomoto, and I respect it, and I would like to go in to see what he's read about NIO, because the headline is NIO seems awfully risky when considering the bigger picture. So this was written by him yesterday. So I would like to contrast this and see if I could probably agree with some of the points he has. So let's have a look and see what he has to say. So let's pop down, and he goes straight into saying NIO stock has a consumer level valuation problem. So he says one of the main criticisms that's popped up as NIO stock soared to record-breaking heights is the idea of valuation. Based on its financial performance, the EV maker does not seem stretched. The company is burning cash while competing in a cutthroat and, I would argue, whimsical sector. Surely you can make the argument that NIO is an inspirational company and that its specific aspirations provide an alternative high-end EV brands make the present valuations metrics worthwhile. And that will be true if the company delivers on said aspirations, but that's a big if. Now, let's have a look at this comment he said. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, but if we start to look back at the last quarters, the last two quarters, in fact, we have a look at the whole year, 2020, NIO have actually overperformed. Okay, they've met their target, they've sold more cars than expected, and revenues increased. Okay, they're burning cash, right? So was Tesla a few years back. So again, I don't think that's a big if. I think that's a small if, in my point of view. So we can't look at it like that. But anyway, that's my point of view. Let's see what he goes on to say. He says, most importantly, in my view, NIO stock have may have a consumer level valuation problem. For instance, the underlying company's ES8, a full-size seven-seater SUV, has an excellent performance metrics, taking this massive wheels of standstill from 60 and has a price target of roughly 68,000. Meanwhile, Tesla Model X has the same acceleration in standard trim and with an option to seat up to 7 passengers, yet it costs $80,000. Okay, so NIO is cheaper. However, he says when you're talking about cars priced above 50,000, consumers probably care less about having to save money and more about tangible and intangible attributes such as reliability, access to service, and social cachet. So he's automatically assuming that Tesla. I don't disagree to say Tesla is really quite advanced, but I don't think NIO is really far behind. If we start to have a look at NIO's service and what they're offering, it's quite actually, it's different, slightly different to Tesla, and I think it's really good. And if we're looking at comparing a $30,000 difference in an EV and a EV car, I don't think there's no comparison there, right? But anyway, that's my point of view. Having really spearheaded the EV movement, I believe more consumers will pass on the discount and go with Tesla if the choice given. Also, NIO will likely need to give much more of a discount as an automotive heavyweights enter the EV scene. That will cut into the already negative margins, which may hurt NIO stock. Now let's just sit down and let's have a look. If we have a look at, let's forget about electrical cars. Now let's talk about cars. Does everyone go out? Do you go out? Does your neighbour go out and buy a Mercedes and Audi only because that's the best car that there is? No. There's a market for everyone, and this is the same in the electrical car vehicle. You cannot just put Tesla up there and say they're going to get 100% of the market. Number one, they're not able to do that, and number two, we know that doesn't happen. This just wouldn't happen. Speculation needs unwinding. It says on February the 17th of this year, I provided a technical reason why NIO stock may be due for a correction. If you look at the price then and where it is today, you can see that I was right to offer a warning. Hello? Okay, so probably, okay. Do you realize that the whole market was down, wasn't just NIO? Did you see how much? That's a really, really, really sloppy comment to come out to say, look, I warned you that there'll be a correction on NIO. How? There was a correction in the whole frigging market, not just NIO. So that is really poor. That is really poor to say that. But then it will go. Anyway, I'm not going to say any more on that. Says, however, I'm skeptical that the board continue propping up NIO stock. Actually, this isn't criticism of the unlisted company, but rather a reflection of the present speculative landscape. Okay, as you know, millions of people have bid up what my colleague might call crap stocks, which is all fine and well until you realise that the money is infinite source. Therefore, the more member stocks available to trade on, the more they are detracting away from each individual trade. Furthermore, having gone up so much, NIO stocks need exponentially more funds to produce the rip-roaring gains that initially attracted speculators. In this case, I highly recommend you study the concept of the law of diminishing returns. Okay, I'll do that. I've got to assume that with the crisis that came upon us last year, many retail investors are simply tapped out. Indeed, FINRA provides evidence of the base of stock trading or margin hitting all-time highs. Well, anyway, okay, that sort of bores me a little bit, but there we go. Time to get real. If you believe that Nokia stick is going to go off of the races, hats off to you. In my view, investors need to get real with what's happening. There's simply too much speculation for rational folks to feel comfortable about hype up growth firms attempting to deny gravity. Okay, so yeah, I completely actually disagree. I do like to think, and I'm trying to put my head into the bearish mindset, but it just ain't happening. I just completely disagree with everything he has to say in this article. There's nothing that he's actually, from my point of view, I'm hoping that someone can actually contrast and say, agree with him. If you agree with any of the comments that you've seen on this bearish article, please give me comments down below. On the contrary, if you are a true believer like I am, a bullish investor, give me your comments, your thoughts down below as well, guys. So that's a little bit on the price, guys. That's a little bit on the news. Guys, stay updated for more updates. I'll make sure that I'll put more updates out on NIO. And guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that like button because that really helps the YouTube algorithm. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much, guys, and speak to you soon.